I should have picked up on the fact that he had his bell rung and then rung it again when he hit the post. I should have been sharp enough to adapt at that point and not try to get to where I was getting.
Intensity is something very hard to replicate. And I had forgotten my sequence to the ring. I'd forgotten my preparation. It had been so long and I had put it away. I had put it in a dark place in my mind.
You watch that match back again when Taker at the finish on the end of that match, he's just sitting up, looking around, pissed, like just kind of looked upset, like frustrated.
You're in a stadium built for noise, floodlights, massive screens, pyro that feels a little too close, and heat that sits on your skin like a wet towel. This is supposed to be simple. 2 legends, 1 spectacle. The kind of match where the entrances do half the work and the rest is big, clean, safe. The Undertaker walks out first. Slow, deliberate, coat, hat, that stare that makes the whole place drop a level in volume for a second. Then Goldberg. The entrance is urgency. Security, smoke, that familiar march to the ring like something's already chasing him. Shoulders tight, jaw set, breathing hard before the bell. And if you're a fan, this is the exact moment you lean forward, because the whole idea relies on timing, not creativity, not a long chess match. Timing. And early on, you get the first sign that timing is about to become a problem. Goldberg goes for a spear, Undertaker shifts, and Goldberg clips the ring post. It's not a dramatic spot. It's a real-looking collision, the kind where you instinctively blink and look for the referee, and now you start noticing different things. How long it takes to reset, how Undertaker starts taking an extra beat before committing to the next exchange, how Goldberg's movement comes in bursts, then pauses, like his body wants to sprint, but the match is asking him to slow down. The crowd doesn't panic, they're still cheering, but the sound changes anyway, just a little. Confusion first, then a kind of attention you don't hear in a normal match. Because when a match is going right, you don't notice the seams. When it's going wrong, you start seeing every seam at once. And this one is about to tear wide open. This match wasn't booked because somebody had a complicated story to tell. It was booked because the poster sells itself. Undertaker, Goldberg, first singles match. Main event. One night built around 2 names that still feel massive. Where to look? Broadcast open, pre-bell, and the first minute. And you can see the intention in how the cameras treat it. Long stare down, slow walk, wide shots. Let the moment breathe. Don't rush anything, because the plan for a match like this is never complicated. It's not built for layers, it's built for landmarks. A few beats everyone recognizes, a couple power sequences, a finish, out. And that's not laziness, that's risk management. Legends attractions don't need variety, they need control. And this match had a kind of risk you don't need insider info to spot. Goldberg's style is built on bursts. Everything happens fast in a tight window. Timing, balance, and commitment. When it's sharp, it looks unstoppable. Undertaker is pacing, positioning, slowing things down. He's the guy you trust when a match needs steering. So the match is designed around a simple trade. Goldberg gets his explosive moments. Undertaker gets the control moments, and the finish arrives before either man has to push beyond what their bodies can safely give. That's the theory. But theory only works if the first few minutes go exactly to plan. And they don't. Because that early post-collision doesn't just hurt, it changes the rhythm. Now you're not just waiting for the landmarks, you're watching whether they can still hit them clean. And in this match, the landmarks aren't small. They're spears, choke slams, a tombstone, a jackhammer. And once timing is even slightly off, those moves stop feeling like highlights. They start feeling like tests, and the first test comes fast. Goldberg comes out fast. He throws the throat slice. He charges like he's trying to end this in 30 seconds. Then the first thing goes wrong. Goldberg drives in for the spear, and he hits the ring post instead. Not a clean impact. Not a clean redirect. He clips it and stumbles through the corner. And the broadcast does what broadcasts always do after something like that. It cuts tighter, it checks faces, it checks reactions. Then it tries to move on. Undertaker doesn't rush. He takes the tempo and starts laying out the match with simple, controllable offense. Then he goes to one of the most recognizable Undertaker sequences of all time. Old school, he walks the ropes and drops the shot, and then Undertaker goes bigger. Chokeslam. Then Undertaker sets the tombstone. He gets Goldberg up, adjusts, and drops it. Cover. Goldberg kicks out, and now the match is asking for the heaviest stuff on the menu. Because once you kick out of that, the next steps are obvious. Goldberg answers the tombstone kick out the way Goldberg always answers. Spear, then another spear. Straight line, full commitment. Crowd wakes right back up. Then Goldberg calls for the jackhammer. This is the moment the entire match is built around. And it's the moment that turns. Goldberg gets Undertaker up, and Undertaker comes down wrong. It's not close. It's not almost. It's an ugly landing that makes the replay feel unnecessary because you saw it live. And after that, the match doesn't reset into a new chapter. It just keeps moving. Undertaker tries to go to the tombstone again. Goldberg gets up, Undertaker hooks him, and the lift/positioning goes wrong. It turns into a messy moment where Goldberg drops. Undertaker has to abandon the clean tombstone setup, and they both scramble into the next beat. And now there's only one clean way out. Undertaker grabs him, chokeslam, one more time. Goldberg goes down, cover, it ends. And once the bell rings, the broadcast can finally do what it's been avoiding the whole time. It can admit what you just watched. This didn't go how anyone wanted. After the jackhammer goes wrong, the match gets simpler. You don't see new sequences. You don't see extra risk. You see a direct path to the finish. And you can track that shift just by watching what Undertaker does next. He doesn't look for another long exchange. He goes straight into the one finish that's fast and controllable. But first, there's one more moment where things don't come together clean. Undertaker tries to set for another tombstone. Goldberg rises, Undertaker hooks him, and the lift doesn't happen. Goldberg drops out of it, and the two of them have to immediately move to the next beat. And right after that, Undertaker ends it. He grabs him, chokeslam, pin, bell, and notice what you don't get afterward. No long linger, no big moment that stretches the ending. The broadcast moves forward quickly because the match has already said enough. It started as a marquee main event, and it ended as the cleanest exit they could take. Next is the part nobody can hide behind highlights. What gets said afterward, by the men in the ring and by the people who had to live with it. The bell rings, Undertaker gets the pin, and within minutes the story stops living in the ring and starts living in what people say afterward. Because this match didn't need analysis, it had receipts. The first one comes from Goldberg himself. A few hours later, he posts that he knocked himself out and tried to finish anyway. Then you get the second layer, later interviews where Goldberg explains the routine that set the tone before the match even started. Headbutting a door, getting disoriented, then the ring post collision compounding it. And then the third receipt lands harder, because it's Undertaker saying what everyone was thinking. Then you get the perspective that explains the tone inside the ring without guessing. Referee Mike Chioda later says it went downhill after Goldberg's early collision and that he was waiting to hear back on whether he should call it. And finally, there's the backstage part people bring up. There were reports of shouting after the match at Gorilla. Reported, not confirmed on camera, and not universally agreed on, Ori. But it circulated hard because it fit the outcome. And when you stack those receipts in order, tweet, interviews, documentary, referee, you get the same conclusion from 4 different angles. Whatever the intention was, what happened in that ring forced a fast exit. Next, we break down the one thing this match changed permanently, how fans and WWE itself looked at icons colliding matches after 2019. This match didn't become a story because of who won. Goldberg didn't do the usual post-match victory lap talk. He apologized, publicly, the same night, and used the exact phrase that tells you how serious it was. He said he knocked himself out and thought he could finish. Then Undertaker does something he almost never does. He openly frames it as a match that went way too close to the edge. In WWE's own Last Ride coverage, he talks about being disappointed and says it was really close to being catastrophic. And then you get the third perspective, the referee. Mike Chioda later says he was worried enough that he was waiting to hear back on whether he should call it, because Goldberg was in bad shape. And once those 3 things exist, tweet, documentary quote, ref quote, fans don't even need debate. They just replay the match and match it to the receipts. That's why it stuck, because it wasn't framed as a bad match. It was framed as a match that could have gone much worse. And you can see the ripple in how it was covered immediately afterward, too. Mainstream recaps didn't treat it like a normal main event. They treated it like a headline about what went wrong. And that's the lasting mark. Every time WWE sells 2 icons one night, this match is the caution tape people remember. What this match changed about how fans look at Legends matches, and what WWE did afterward to keep these moments from turning into this again.